IanXIlyana here. I thought I would come back and talk once again about what's been going on with my PTSD and my military sexual trauma, because I received yet another email from one of these VA vendors of, you need to take another exam, and I've taken like at least 5 or 6 exams. It hasn't changed, it's actually gotten worse, and it's traumatizing to me. I don't know if I relayed the news, but perhaps I will discuss it again. I did win. I have been declared a veteran with a disability, and that disability is PTSD. But it's not over. Instead of going along with that, with the opinion of you have PTSD from military sexual trauma, and we understand how traumatizing it is for you to speak to people in general, speak to anyone at this point. Let's just get you your benefits and let you go on your way and maybe try and heal a little bit. They don't want to do that. Instead of doing that, they want to traumatize me again and again and again. Because every time I talk about it, I die a little inside. I really do. A piece of me is just taken away. And this is why I contacted the Human Rights Commission at the United Nations, and they've responded. That's not how you treat a citizen. It really isn't. You want to talk to me about my problems and how PTSD affects my life? Fine. But don't put me in a situation where I have random strangers, women, coming up to my apartment door, trespassing on the property, to ring my doorbell and bang on my door. That's harassment. That's domestic terrorism. That's abuse of power. And the American government does that to me, and if they do that to me, they do that to other veterans. I can't be the only veteran that deals with this. I just happen to be a veteran stupid enough to come to California, where they do stuff like that on purpose. Hello there, Josene, Maven, how you doing? How you been? My name is IanXIlyana. I'm an environmentalist, a human rights activist, Two-Spirit, Native American, First Nation, First People, transgender advocate, musician, and a PTSD survivor, because as bleak as it is, I still wake up every day and I want to wake up every day. At least I tell myself that. But is that really true when, if I see a woman coming toward me or blocking my path, I would rather run into traffic than be anywhere near women at this point? American women. I have PTSD from military sexual trauma. I honestly don't know how I would react to foreign women, but I think foreign women might have better manners than American women who see me on the LA Metro and then grope me, grab my crotch, grab my buttocks, and there are never police on these LA Metro. And I just recently re-upped my LA Metro, and I'm too concerned to use it. And now it's summer, so I really don't want to use it. But this is stupid. This is absolutely stupid. So the name of the podcast is countdown to Canada, and that's just what it is. I'm going to try and buy a plane ticket and leave for another nation, because this nation is such bullshit. It's such bullshit that I was sexually abused while reading a calculus textbook and it's bullshit that these American bitches are trying to harass me. And I love having the benefit of the doubt, which is what I used to do. And I used to be able to say, you know what, not all women are like that. Because I lived in states where, yeah, I had to deal with crazy women here and there, but it wasn't every woman. And they were stark raving mad. I mean, these were really crazy women, dangerous women. But it wasn't every woman. And maybe I was naive about how much my PTSD affected me. Phantom rhythms, your accent, English, yay, where you at, Canada. I want to live in Canada. I really do. Because Canada is just beautiful. They have cities, but they also have forests. They also have a respect for parks, a respect for litter. They have a respect for how much they're polluting. And also, it's so cold that trees get to win, animals get to win. That's the problem when you live in a state like California where it's sunny all the time. The temperatures are so hot that these forest fires break out, and these Californians don't give a shit. They give a shit when their human property is burned down. They don't give a shit that, well, you know, some squirrels were living in that tree that you burn down with your fossil fuels burning in your cars. You know, there were rabbits that had a den in that area. Do you care about that? No, they don't. They don't care about that because they see that as less than them. Oh, is it something that they can make a movie out of? No, they don't. They don't see anything except for their narrow scope of entertainment. So when 5 forest fires break out, California, business as usual. They don't care. They don't care that because you burned 5 forests, that's a lot of smoke on top of the smog, affecting your lungs, affecting your kids' lungs, affecting your animals' lungs, who I thought you cared about, but you know, they don't care about anything in this state, and they don't care about anything in this country. I tried my hardest to get an Amazon Fire TV Max 4K so I could watch the CMAs, because Reba McEntire, American country music artist, is going to be hosting. There's going to be lots of American country music artists, people who've lived in the South, people who live in places like Texas, Tennessee, Kentucky, Oklahoma. They have fans there. And then I have to put a petition together to stop water contamination in Eastern Kentucky. I have to do that. I mean, it's not my job or anything. I just happen to live in America, and I don't see why America has to suck a fat dick every time it comes to environmental issues. So I put together that petition. I was very happy that my compatriot, Clint, was kind enough to sign that petition, change.org/Kentucky needs you. No, I'm actually going to leave that comment there. Earrings for women. I'm Native American, First Nation, so I'm an indigenous person. I don't really subscribe to your sexless, westernized version of life. I literally just live in my own world. I don't have to be more masculine or more acceptable for any of you. If you don't like it, go find another podcast. This is my podcast. I will wear and speak and do as I fucking please. Are we clear? All right. Fishing Planet, welcome back. Guess what? You can come back tomorrow. Thank you so much for coming by. All right. I'll keep talking about it. Senate Bill 89 in the Kentucky State Legislature will allow them to add more contamination to the freshwater and groundwater that rural communities use. They use that for the drinking water, they use that for the bathing water, they use that for water for their crops, and they use that for water in their restaurants. That's a lot wider than just the rural community. I think it affects the entire state. I think it affects the entire country. And it sets a legal precedent that if you pollute there, you can pollute anywhere. And I know a lot of people say, well, why don't you just buy bottled water? Why don't you just buy a filter? Sometimes those things are expensive and sometimes those things are wasteful. The amount of plastic that we use in America to house water is disgusting. Water should be floating and free and readily available, fresh and clean, no matter who you are, where you are. Rich, poor, anyone should be able to get fresh water without the plastic crisis that we have here, because we have a plastic crisis. Because people do not carry their own water supply. They don't think that way. And then they think about buying into brands and flavored water and flavored drinks. And what am I supposed to say? I don't care? I do care. I signed up for the military because I'm a caring person about my country. I am a caring person about my country, and knowing my full history of where I come from, I do care about, this country that could fall apart, because if it falls apart, all these reservations that they've shoved Native Americans on, and I'm one of those people that they shoved on a reservation, will be violated further. So, I don't know. I've tried to reach out to my lawyer. Hopefully my lawyers handle this. I appreciate it if they would. Because this is ridiculous. My own little town is having a disco party in the middle of a Latin neighborhood. I'm kind of curious to go, and I have to admit, I haven't had too much of a problem with giant gatherings where you know that there are lots of people and the police are there. The sheriff's department does come to those events. So if I have any issue, I can calmly try and walk over to the sheriff and explain what the issue is if it's a serious issue. I dislike how this state has forced me to be more isolated than I should be. Hi there, Clint. What is going on? I'm just having that conversation with people and keeping them up to date because I like being honest with people. I don't like secrets. I don't like lies. I don't like anything that is disingenuous. And I'm telling them that I won. I won my disability, where they say you have PTSD, you have a disability, but it's not finished there. It should be. It should. But no, they said, we want you to have 2 more interviews, 2 more, 2. And every single one of them, it's going over my traumatic sexual abuse because of Master Sergeant Miranda. Master Sergeant Miranda sexually abused me, and I have to relive that with yet another psychologist, psychiatrist. And they're always going to punctuate it with, so I'm hearing an accent. Where's your accent from? It's like, fuck you, B. Fuck you, people. I'm talking about being sexually abused and sent to the hospital, and you want to make small talk with me like we're friends. We're not friends. We're not. But every single one of them has been this inappropriate. And then they had the gall to say, you know what? I just don't feel like granting you benefits. 6 years of that, 6 years of going back and forth, back and forth. And it hurts. All right. So you got your disability assessment. That's good. That's a less step. You get it for sure. I think so too. But even with the disability benefits, it's pretty clear that the American government wants to keep torture on retainer, keep torturing me for money. It's not just, I know that you have been affected and you're traumatized. You're absolutely traumatized by what happened to you during active duty. Could we stop random women from coming to your door to ring on your doorbell and bang on your door? Because that's what they do here. Could we just say, get a fucking VA loan so you can buy a house, or guess what, a lean-to, a fucking pop tent. Get something that you could say, this is my fucking land. You step on my fucking land, you're trespassing, I call the cops. Drop whatever you have to fucking bring me at the fucking mile marker. I'll go and grab it myself. Other than that, I don't want to fucking talk to anyone. That's what I want. I told my lawyers, just, you're going to have to fucking handle this for me because the VA shut off my phone. So I can't make or receive phone calls. And then on top of that, they keep fucking sending female secretaries to fucking call me up. And I don't want to talk to them because I have PTSD from military sexual trauma. And it is traumatizing for me to talk to females. I try to limit that as much as possible. And everything is trying to push me to that. Just today, I was trying to take my dog for a walk and I was trying to avoid having to be near females, and someone was coming toward me on the other side of the street and they were smoking, and I was like, I don't want to get a face full of cigarette smoke. So I had to veer away into traffic because, you know, what would be the point of putting myself in more danger to be harassed or triggered or freak out again? It makes me uncomfortable to be that veteran who just freaks out all the time. I'm a scientist, I'm an educated person, and I'm behaving like a fucking fool because I'm terrified of being raped. I'm terrified of being groped and not having law enforcement do their job. Because I've made complaints about, being groped in the LA Metro, and they just haven't done enough. All right. You can always look for an RV or Winnebago. I'm gonna read that out. Water Bargo. I was carting around in my water Bargo. Clint, I don't mean to laugh, but damn, that felt good. Water Bargo. This newfangled water burgers just tearing up the roads. Oh God. Oh, thank you, Glenn. You're amazing. You're absolutely amazing. And absolutely practical. Thank you. Thank you. That's all I have to say. You're a good, decent person. I look forward to the CMAs. This is a huge opportunity for any country music artist worth their salt to talk about Eastern Kentucky. Hopefully they do. The world will be watching. That's all I have. I just wanted to keep people up to date about what's going on. I'm gonna take the rest of the evening for personal time. I'm just really sad and depressed, really depressed about what's going on. I want to thank everyone who came in today. I want to thank Clint for signing that petition. I can't get any other signatures, but change.org/Kentucky needs you. I mean, people need to start signing petitions and speaking out against government corruption. I can't do this by myself. I'd love to fight the battle for you, but I need some people to step up and say, I want to fight a battle too. I mean, we talk about be a man, and people criticize me for my earrings and say, I'm not manly enough for them. I'm a person who's taking on the American government for polluting Eastern Kentucky, for sexually abusing and raping American citizens. I'm not just a man. I'm the man. Recognize that. Thank you, everyone. This is IanXIlyana for Countdown to Canada. I hope to see you on the next podcast.